Hello, and welcome back to Star Wars Minute. It's the daily podcast where we analyze, scrutinize, and celebrate the Star Wars movies 1 minute at a time. I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
I'm Alex Robinson from AlexRobinson.fun.
I'm Jeff May from Standard Things, from podcasts and things. God, I gotta get better at that.
I like standard things. Yeah, it's like the opposite
Standard
of Stranger Things.
You know me. I do podcasts and things. You guys get it. You're here. You're with me on this one.
Sure.
This is Wednesday now. I'm feeling pretty good. It's hump day.
Yeah, we're gonna get over it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it, everybody.
I like that I have a nice weekly wardrobe already picked out for me, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, that's the droids in the back will help if you.
I'm not mad about it. It's funny. It's funny. You guys got me yesterday when we were talking about those cards. I actually went and broke mine out.
There you go.
Feeling pretty good about it. Thank you.
I'm
You're ready to take on all comers.
I am totally going. Look, hang on. I'm gonna.
Oh, I don't have any cards to show.
This is not Star Wars cards. This is Presto Magic's Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
That's why I looked over here. I'm like, somewhere in one of these boxes, and I saw Presto Magic. So I'm like, all right, I'll take that out.
I still love Presto
Magics. A listener sent us those. So
Us.
Us. Today, though, we're not talking about cards. We're not talking about Presto Magics. We're talking about minute 98 of Solo: A Star Wars Story. Minute 98 starts with Han seeing Qi'ra walk up the beach to like a cabana or something. And it ends with Qi'ra saying, you don't want to make an enemy of the Crim blank.
The Crim, yeah.
The Crim. You don't want to make an enemy of the Crim. You guys watch The Crim? It's on, what is it, on HBO Max or something like that?
I thought it was an offshoot of the Crips.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yes, but are you getting out paper? Are you going to write down a thing for this, Alex? I didn't... Should we do that?
I wasn't planning to.
No, I thought
you
were just looking for a thing. I thought I thought you were getting out paper to do a match game for. Don't want to make an enemy of the Crim.
Okay.
What?
He was just like, note for self. Look up Crim.
Crim. Was he a bounty hunter? I don't remember who that was.
He's in the cantina somewhere.
This whole minute has a kind of film noir. I said this. Savarine in general is spaghetti western, but inside this little tent, it's definitely film noir where you have, the earnest hero and the woman with the kind of shady past, and it's very very film noir here. So and I like that it's a flip of this is we get to see Han being the one who's like, oh, stay with me. And,
right.
Like when I felt like when he said, then what happened? Like, then what? That reminded me of her being like, oh, then you're as good as gone too. Right. Like that. So yeah, I like that it flipped it kind of.
Yeah. Similar vibes, but flipped, which is nice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. This minute is like almost all dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
We get that where they're really just getting into it, and he's like, you know me, I'm like a bad boy. She's like, you sure aren't. You sure aren't, sir.
Well, wait, he starts off, he's like, where's your boss? And that's kind of a jerk question, I feel like. It's like, oh, where's your boss? Like, it sounds like, like there's a difference between where's your boss and like, oh, like, where's Dryden boss? I guess they rhyme, but they are... there's a difference in just like leaning on that relationship and being like, oh, where's your boss? Like,
well, I think he's intentionally kind of ribbing her about it. Like,
yeah, he's trying to know what's up.
Yeah.
Right. But also the fact that she takes orders from someone where Han is like, hey, I'm I'm my own boss.
Right.
Kind of a thing.
Yeah. He's like, I'm a bad boy, baby. I'm a bad boy. Like, are you?
And then Qi'ra says like, oh, yeah, he'll don't worry, he'll be here, and then you'll get paid and buy that ship. And I had a little like, bring, like the alternate reality of like, oh, what happens if Han Solo just gets paid and buys the ship? You know what I mean? Like if he shows up, the deal just goes down normally, no hitches, no backstabbing, no nothing. It's just all according to plan, and he gets paid, and he goes and he buys another ship that's not the Millennium Falcon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like what's
Outrider?
What ship?
Yeah,
he's gonna get the Outrider.
I guess
he's going to dash to get it.
Oh.
Well, he might. I mean, there is a time in between the end of this adventure and when we see him catch up with Lando. So he might buy a ship in between and then just go win the ship from Lando anyway.
Between between the end of this scene and the end of the movie, you mean? I mean, the end of this sequence?
Well, when Lando leaves and then
Right.
Han sticks around and does stuff and then
Oh,
Han
yeah.
leaves separately,
He has
it could
to
be a year later for all we know. I mean, I don't know if it says, I don't recall if it says how long it is in between that, but you could totally have other adventures in there.
It's actually,
or not even just buy a ship and just have it for a couple of months and then say, you know what, I got to find Lando and get his ship from him somehow.
Was he just
This thing
Ubering
sucks.
around the galaxy?
Or you had a
He tried
rental.
to do the Kessel Run again, and he was like, you know what? Maybe it wasn't me that it was so good. Maybe it was
Yeah.
the ship.
I
was
literally
really
keep exploding.
Yeah.
We should
Yeah.
probably handle this.
But yeah, and then Han keeps needling and keeps saying like, oh well, so because you're with Dryden or something like that. And she says, I'm not with him, but I owe him,
Mhm.
which is interesting. Again, that so as much as this movie goes to great lengths to explain a lot of things, it also sets up a lot of things that are unexplained. There's a good
It
amount of
hints at
stuff that is
things.
just like, oh, well, let's leave that to the imagination or the comic books or the future authors.
Yeah, they're giving it a little room to play, which
Yeah.
I like. I like the idea of them being like, yeah, someone's going to write a novel about this.
Right. Yeah.
I like that
Yeah.
because we certainly didn't back ourselves into a corner with all of the Star Wars novels. No corners were
Right.
backed into over the 30
There's no
30 or
corners,
so
space.
years
Right.
in which we were just filling all sorts of cracks with all sorts of epoxies to keep it together.
Yeah.
You know, in a weird way, I feel like Qi'ra, in a weird way, is almost like one of the more mature characters in Star Wars, in that, like, the relationship here is like the same relationship like between real life people. Like, a lot of Star Wars, people are dealing with situations none of us are ever going to have to deal with. The rebellions.
Speak for yourself.
Or
You don't know.
space battles, that kind of stuff. But this is like a real, and these aren't like good or evil characters. They're more gray and complicated, and I think that's kind of like, I mean, I get, as Star Wars goes on, that happens more and more. The Star Wars stories, especially the Rogue One, dealt with a lot of, Krennic was kind of not quite evil, and there was more shades of gray there. But so yeah, it's I like the fact that it's about, like, everyone understands the situation of being in a where you feel like you owe someone, or you're in you have an obligation to someone. It's a more human, relatable thing than a lot of the issues. Than, oh my gosh, am I gonna, is Kylo Ren gonna become evil? Like, those are such cartoony things. They're not like real people issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So-
But it is getting back towards the heart of, well, no, maybe not getting back to, but there's, like Luke wanting to go off and leave his little farm town and go do big things, you know what I mean? And then granted, the situations are different. The situation is different here, but that's like, it's a little relatable human thing to it that yeah, we might have lost.
Right, but like morally, there's none of the characters in Star Wars seem like they're at all bothered by, other than Darth Vader, I guess, turning good at the end. But like, everyone's pretty much like, yes, we're the good guys. We'll blow up a space station and kill millions of people, and
Right.
who cares? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Right.
Yeah,
it-
we're
it's not
gonna
about
do
that. It's not that kind of story. It's fairy tale. It's not meant
Right,
to
right.
be. So.
Oh, you meant, okay. All right. I was misinterpreting what I was misinterpreting your interpretation, but I get it now.
Okay.
I hear what you're saying.
Anyway,
What you picked up, he put down,
Exactly.
or what you put
Now
down, he picked up. I got there.
I've picked it up now. I
Okay.
didn't.
It only
I
took
can
two
dig it.
tries. Two
I
tries for
can dig
me to get that correct.
so
speaking
then
of-
she says, "Go ahead."
No, as I was going to say, but speaking of getting picked up, she says he helped me out of a bad situation. And I'm trying to think of what's the most mundane bad situation that he could have helped her out of? Like she's had like a flat tire or something.
It's a very Aladdin situation. She just got caught stealing bread,
I mean, there you go.
and then
Yeah,
and
it's
then
like-
he has a magic carpet. It's
And
a
now,
whole thing.
yeah, it's a whole new world.
Yeah, I think like she had to have her car was in the shop, so one time he gave her a ride to work, and that was
and
really,
that was it.
That was
that's it. Then boom, tattoo on. Next thing you know, tattoo, necklace, and
Yeah.
you just gotta.
On their planet, that's a real big deal.
He loaned her $40 because she got a parking ticket, and she was
space
like,
bucks.
Yeah.
That was a bad situation.
He pulled some strings over the. He's a real big shot down at the DMV. He got her some. Took some points off her license.
What a good dude Dryden Voss is, huh? He's getting people out of bad situations. That's nice.
Maybe his middle name starts with an M, so he is the DMV.
Look at that. You see how things happen here? We're just we're moving and shaking over here.
What could he say? What would be the best? I mean, I guess like murder or something.
Kind of one-liner or something.
Or like what M name would be the best thing for him to say? Blank is my middle name.
Right.
You know, like it could be murder. It would be maybe something different every time, but it always starts with M.
It would be something really. He's like, Martin is my middle name. Like, oh, he's like, yeah, it's a family name.
Yeah.
Martin is my middle name, and I've ran out of bubble gum.
Oh, classic Dryden Voss. Classic Dryden Martin Voss.
The next line I have is where she says, everybody serves somebody.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's so funny because when he does the then what, and she goes, you delivered, so you'll get paid. And it's like, you know what he's talking about. Cut it out.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know exactly what he's talking about. But yeah, she's like, everybody works for someone, even Dryden Voss. And you're like, oh, who could
everybody
it be?
serves somebody, she says.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Service.
Who could it be?
Who could it be now?
Men
at Work.
Oh, Men at Work.
Dryden Men at Work Voss.
There you go. Men at Work is my middle name.
From a morality standpoint, I was intrigued by Qi'ra's statement that everybody serves somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's true, and how does that compare with other philosophies we've seen in the Star Wars universe? For instance, would DJ agree with her that everybody serves somebody, or would he be like, I don't serve anyone, I'm my own thing? Or does DJ, because DJ know that you're always part of the machine, whether or not you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is this too heavy of or weighty of a topic? I just thought that, and also would old Han Solo agree that everyone serves somebody?
Old Han Solo.
Han Solo.
You mean like Harrison Ford Han Solo?
Well, I mean, like would specifically like Force Awakens Han Solo. If you had said, does everyone serve somebody? Would he agree, or would he be?
I think he would, because he's already deep with Conja Club. So he's serving his, on the run aspect. So like in that regard, like he might be running away from it, but that doesn't mean that it's not there.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be like I'm wondering, is there somebody in the Star Wars universe that doesn't serve anybody?
Like DJ was the only one I thought of, because DJ's like,
right. But he's at the mercy of others. He does work with others, but he doesn't, I don't know. Yeah.
About Dash Rendar.
He's an outrider.
That's a free spirit.
Yeah.
With a lot of
I'm
mana.
trying to think of what, like
would Leia agree with that, you think?
Well, I mean, she serves the people,
I know. So would she agree with it? Would she say we all, whether or not we...
I feel like maybe Palpatine. I feel like you have to be at the top of the MLM to establish that.
Yeah.
Palpatine's got real Tony Robbins energy in where he is in the MLM.
I was trying to think of like who are characters that are kind of like outside of the thing. I was like, oh, like Jar Jar, and then I was like, wait a minute. He introduces himself as Misa, your humble servant. I'm like, oh, okay, no, all
That's
right,
true. Yeah, he has a life debt. Yeah. So.
I guess maybe Yoda, but then he'd be like, I serve the Force or whatever,
Yeah. Well, he was also the head of a huge bureaucracy. I mean, that's what he would say. Is that
but he retired like the Unabomber and went to live in the woods in a cabin.
Yeah, like
trying to planning to overthrow the government.
Yeah, you're right. He would probably say, I serve the Force, be a cop out like that.
Yeah.
But don't we all serve the Force from that point of view? Don't we all the whim of the midichlorians?
He would try to say some like version of what she said.
That's what she
he
said.
would talk about like detach me, like what she said, that is, or something. Like Something along the lines. I'd also like to
Ditto.
add that I'm wearing this Yoda shirt. I don't know if you can see it right here, but he's
Uh-huh.
like, he's got electricity coming out of his finger, and that's not a Jedi power. That's a Sith power.
Well, is he receiving it?
I mean,
Oh.
it's kind of coming out of his finger. It looks like it's like he's not really
Wow.
absorbing electricity.
Is that shirt canon? Are you allowed to wear that?
I got this shirt as a gift, and I was like, I'm not sure this shirt is canon.
Hmm.
And the person who got this for me, I was dating at the time, and I made it as a joke, but she was just like, "You're never going to be happy." And I was like, "You are probably correct, yeah."
Here we are.
Well,
She's like,
I
I'm
want to
sorry,
take
what?
the opportunity to put on my ABC Devo hat. Listeners might know that I did a couple of years ago. We did a show called ABC Devo, where a couple of friends and I went alphabetically through all the Devo songs. And one that we talked about on our Patreon episodes, coming back to Patreon, was a song called Gotta Serve Somebody, which is a cover of a Bob Dylan song. And they did it as Dove, the Band of Love, when they opened for themselves. Long story. But
Oh, Dove, an anagram.
so I since it's almost said right here in the movie, I did have to talk about Devo for a second.
That's a good crossover there.
Yeah.
I'll put on my alphabetical cap and I'll point out that John Lennon, there's a bootleg recording of John Lennon doing a parody of Gotta Serve Somebody that he wrote called Serve Yourself, which is
There you
saying
go.
basically like, there's no,
Right.
yeah. Anyway, so there you go. Three different
Yeah.
interpretations.
I guess I got to go to my Jose Canseco cast that
There
I
you go.
did, that episode I did with Adam Todd Brown, where we talked about Jose Canseco when he said every ball player he knew engaged in road beef except for Roger Clemens.
Oh.
There you go.
There you go. So it just goes to show you different aspects of the same, different facets of the same jewel.
It's all the same thing, man.
Yeah.
It's all because we're all one with the Force.
Right.
Yeah. Who will save your soul? Qi'ra has become, I was just reading some of the Marvel comics from the current series, and Qi'ra is playing a big part in it. And so, she's involved in rescuing Han Solo from the clutches of Jabba the Hutt. You know what I mean? Like she's helping out the rebellion and doing all sorts of in the
I'm good for her.
comics.
5 BBY era or whatever that is.
Yeah, when it's in the time of the Empire Strikes Back is
Right.
Han Solo has just been captured and now they're
So it's Shadows of the Empire era.
Oh, there you go. Dash
Yes.
Rendar era.
Yes.
Rendar era.
Yeah, it was a 0 BBDR.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder if Emilia Clarke will ever reprise the role in a live action capacity. I mean, she doesn't seem to be as busy as she now that she's not doing Game of Thrones anymore.
Right.
So
Might be. Gonna be that sequel series. Who knows what flashbacks are going to exist there?
Yeah.
Side note: I was an Uber driver for 4 years when I was trying to survive out here, and I picked up Sophie Turner, and I was like, "Hey, not to be weird, but do people like freak out when you get in the car?" And she was like, "Oh no, I don't think people really know who I am." And it was right when like X-Men was coming out and Game of Thrones was about. So I was like, well, that's your Game of Thrones billboard right there. That's your head in the jar. And right over there, that's you and Cyclops on the billboard. So I'm gonna call that one out. I think people might know who you are, seeing as how we just drove by 2 of your billboards.
Is she a good tipper?
She did not tip. It was not at the time when that was an option.
Oh, okay.
It was like cash tipping was the only option. That is an evil company, and you should not. You should not give them money if you can't.
We'll put that in the NA column.
Fair. Are they a sponsor?
Not
anymore.
I'm saying we don't know if she was a good tipper or not.
I would assume she would have been. She was really cool. She swore a lot, which was nice.
That equates good tipping in your mind?
It's a nice little tip because I got the story out of it.
Yeah, that's true.
There you go.
Which is nice. I weirdly had a lot of random celebrities get in my car. Or was this
where this is in Los Angeles?
Yeah, I'm in LA. So like,
I guess that's not the,
yeah. So I had Jermaine Clement.
Yeah.
Back when he was promoting what we do in the shadows, and I happened to be listening. The radio station I was listening to, because I was listening to Pandora, was I think Lonely Island, which meant his stuff was going to be coming up. So I had to quickly hurry up and change the station because I didn't want to make that awkward and uncomfortable situation.
Yeah. And I'll be like, look, it's you. It's you.
Yeah. Yeah, I got out before they allowed the tipping through the app.
Mm.
I finally started like making money doing my job.
Right.
Nice.
You know, like you do.
Like you do.
Sorry for that side quest.
No, that's okay.
No,
I think
celebrity sightings always fun to discuss.
Oh yeah, Malin Ackerman used a fake name, and I was like, "Do you really need this? Do you need this fake name?"
Stalkers, who knows?
Especially,
Yeah.
I mean, not to, but that's the type of person that I feel like she would be somebody that people would be like, oh, I know you, but like they
Yeah.
wouldn't remember her name. So
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, you'd be like, do I know?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it worked. And Sebastian Stan was really nice.
Well, since we're talking about that, I think that's all that we had for 98. Alex, did you have anything else for 98?
I think it looks like I'm good.
All right, Jeff, anything for 98?
No, it was good talk. It was very much like it was like watching an awkward breakup happen. It's like you're seeing it happen at school. Because
like the idea of one of the other Savarinians just sitting there texting like, "Oh my God, you wouldn't believe this conversation."
Right?
Like live.
You'll never
tweeting their
believe
breakup.
he just said
Cringe.
what's next, and she said he'd get paid. OMG.
Right.
Embarrassed face. Yeah, because that is like, what a gut punch when he's just like, so then what? And she's like, you'll get paid. And he's like, what? Like, you know exactly what I mean. And she's just like, this is more of a just friends thing. It's brutal.
Yeah.
Like, that gives me secondhand, like, gut wrenching, like that discomfort of almost embarrassment.
Douche chills.
Because we've been there. Like, I feel like we've all had that, like, oh, you misread the situation. I'm not interested. And it's like, now I'm like embarrassed. And even though you said we're friends, I'm going to be texting you less because now I'm just ashamed that I was attracted to you somehow. Like, somehow I will feel shame from that.
Yeah. Do they have...
Well, that's never happened to me. Sounds terrible,
Oh,
but
there you go.
my heart goes out to you guys.
Well,
Oh, no, not me. I'm great.
Okay.
But I just meant other people.
Pete, I'm really sorry to hear that. It must be tough.
well, that was with, when we were... Anyway. Well, hopefully, I'll text you guys and make sure that you can come back tomorrow to remind you that, we're going to be here tomorrow recording. In the meantime, hey, before texting, we used to send more mail, and we have a mailbox still. And we have...
You're really gunning for this mailbox.
I know. I want to bring up the mailbox every week because I'm out of Twizzlers and I can use some more.
Send them some merch.
Yeah, good. Send us merch of your stuff. Send us that pillow that you bought that really doesn't fit on your couch. Remember last week we told you to buy a pillow? I mean, earlier in the week. Send it over to our P.O. box. It's P.O. I don't know where we are. It's P.O. Box 20139, Greedo Square Station, New York, 10001. And Adam will check it and send all the relevant stuff our way. So do that. We'll meet you back here tomorrow with a brand new Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.